100% about selling more real estate. Be a really good training.
Awesome.
Next couple of weeks, we got a lot of really cool training too. I'm super excited about, but we can talk about that later. We already talked about it a little bit earlier, so.
All right. Well, I mean, this class, Eric, it was your idea. Like a lot of these Tuesday night ones are, you recognized what people need to hear and noticed that Sydney was doing some stuff. And I don't know if you want to like introduce, you know, what the reason you wanted this particular class and what Sydney's going to talk about. You guys kind of helped get this set up. I obviously can introduce her too, however you want to go.
You know, I'm really excited about it because, you know, we all know that over the past 5 or 10 years, real estate has really changed to be more and more online. And, you know, clients that aren't, you know, really close referrals, they're going to look you up and kind of see who you are and your personality. Most of them will. So it's really good to have that positive audience and branding. And the reason I wanted to do this and have Sydney help us out is because Jeff Lynn and I talk about it all the time. We've been doing real estate for damn near forever, but we survive on our SOI and working on referrals, taking really good care of our clients, which is something all of us can count on having business over the years once you have a little bit of clientele. So I thought this would be a fantastic class, especially for new agents or agents like myself that want to improve their online presence and branding, because it's something we can all improve on. And like me, I can improve a lot on it. So I really wanted to do this, and I knew that Sydney'd be great to help us out, because Sydney, you do all of our invites, all the beautiful invites to all of our classes. She creates all those that we send out. She does the branding on both the Marchant Group on Instagram and Facebook, but also you're pretty much responsible for the Marchant Group RE, or I'm sorry, marchantregroup.com website, correct? You basically create and build and update that all the time. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So I go through every time we need updating and just kind of revamp it every once in a while.
Well, it's a beautiful site. You know, it looks great. Love everything on it. So, yeah.
Eric, just to capitalize on what you just said, Sydney's doing this for us, right? When we're busy as agents, it's hard to fit this kind of stuff in. So I'll let Sydney kind of go through her thought process, but I love the way she's already told me how she presented this, is like how she started and what she did at first versus what she does now. She's really going to simplify this in the basics to make it super easy. And as she'll explain, some of the things that make it super easy is having the right tools and having the right things to help create the posts and get that branded look and consistency that you like. So I appreciate that she went through that thought process and said, hey, let's keep this really basic, because she's got herself gone through a transition, and also she's licensed now. So now she has, you know, the Sydney real estate page. And so she's starting from scratch to make her own page to be complimentary, of course, to being part of our team. But so Sydney, unless Eric, you have anything else to add, we'll turn it over to Sydney and let her get into what she's prepared for us.
And thank you, Sydney. Appreciate your help.
Yeah, of course. So I'm on a different computer, so I'm not sure what's up with my camera, but at least I have a presentation, so I won't be too whited out and blended in with my wall back there. But okay, so like they said, I wanted to start really, really basic, kind of treat it as you guys don't have a social presence at all. And it's kind of like, well, where do I start? Because there are a lot of different things you could do. A lot of people just want to jump to already posting on Instagram. And what we did as a group is we kind of went about it in a certain order. And that's what I kind of wanted to share with you guys today. So first, before you jump onto the social media train, which you're good to start posting if you'd like to. You can just get some content up there, but we went about it in a way to where we got our logo, we got headshots, and then we created, and by create there, I mean we created some yard signs, we did some decals on our building. So we had a few different things that we did before we even really got started on our social media page. And the reason for that is we wanted it to kind of look consistent across the board. And so I'm going to go into detail on all three of those items. So when we created our logo, so I am going to give you guys some recommendations. So when I share this slideshow afterwards, you guys have something to reference. And so I kind of included what we used, and then different programs that we've used that are also free as well. So for us, what we did, we didn't have a Marchant Real Estate Group logo necessarily from the beginning. And especially since we switched over to EXP, we actually did this twice because we changed our colors. So we used a company called Design Crowd. And what we did is we went on there, we posted our old original logo, and I basically gave the website like an outline of what I wanted to see in a new logo. So I said, I'd like to change this, this, and this. I'd like to change these colors to these items. And then what Design Crowd does is it gives you access to a bunch of freelance designers that actually go on and they look at what you've written and what you've requested, and they make up 100% custom logos for you. And so we got all these different options, hundreds of options actually. It's around $100, and that's me rounding it. I think it's a little over that. And we got to pick what we liked, and then once we picked it, we got to tweak it. And so we got exactly what we were looking for, 100% customizable logo, brand new. And then also an option, and if I have more time at the end of this class, I'm not sure how long it's gonna run, you guys are also welcome to stick around, and I could also do it that way too, but I want to show you on Canva, I want to show you how you can create your own logo and you don't need to pay anything. You can use the free version of Canva.
Hey,
And
Sid.
yeah.
Hey, just one comment on Design Crowd before you move on to something else, because
Yeah.
I picked that company for a reason, because it's a competition based platform where you're only awarding one winner. So all of these people are submitting their design concepts based on your, you know, you put down a detailed description the best you can on what you're looking for, and then they interpret that and try and put that into imagery to convey your logo, right? Your brand. And so what I like about it is we literally, I'd have to go back and look, but I'm sure it was over 300 submissions.
It was a lot.
Over 300 submissions. They all knew that one person is going to win. And so we were able to pick the one that was closest to what we want, and still even work with them on revisions after that. It wasn't like, okay, we purchased that, and then they give it to you in all the digital formats you need to use, you know, in your advertising, PNG and vector and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. It costs a little bit of money, but there's obviously some free sources as well. But that's kind of how Design Crowd works, is all over the world, basically, these freelance designers compete. Okay, sorry, Sid, I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, no worries. And I actually, in the next slide, go a little bit more into recommendations on if you're going to make a logo, what to, so let's go to that next slide. So some things I've found in doing marketing, some future thinking to think about when you are doing a logo is, so you want to get multiple color versions of your logo so you can use it on multiple different, you can overlay it with multiple pictures, you can use it in different ways when you're advertising. And so when I say multiple colors, so we got our full color version, as you can see at the top there. And this is just part of our logo. I just simplified it for the purpose of this slideshow. But I actually use the black and white version way more than I use the color. And the reason for that is because it matches a lot more. It looks cleaner on certain posts that I'm doing, a lot of different reasons there. But you also want to make sure you have a full color version, because our full color version is actually used on all of our signs, like yard signs, open house signs, things like that, that show our original colors. And then, like Jeff was just saying, the PNG files, that's essentially, instead of like a JPEG file, a PNG file has a transparent background. And so when we did our design crowd and we picked our logo, they provided us, and I have an example here. So most JPEG files, they have a black or white background, just depending on what it is. And when you try and put it on a picture and make it look good, it kind of takes away from the look, and that's kind of where your eye is drawn. So when you have a PNG file, it makes the background transparent, so you can put it over any image or anything you want to do, and it looks a lot cleaner and more professional. So I wanted to give you an example of that. And then going back, so this is something that's optional, but I highly, highly suggest. I actually think I talked to Angie when she was getting her logo finalized, but I suggest getting an abstract logo. And so what an abstract logo is that M that you see there, that is our abstract logo. So it's a symbol or it's an icon that represents your brand. So you guys have all seen when you walk into the Marchant Real Estate Group, if you've been in there in person, we have this big rectangular Marchant Real Estate Group logo that's like a metal base on our wall. That's actually our real logo that we accompany. The M accompanies that, and that's what we have on our signage and things like that. But what I love about the abstract logo is that standing alone, this M is super simple, and I actually was able, since it's so small and not as big as our Marchant Real Estate Group logo, I was able to pair it with the EXP logo, and so it's not this really big thing I have to put on all of my marketing. It's smaller, it's simpler, and people still understand when they go to our page that M represents the Marchant Real Estate Group. And so I highly recommend doing that. I actually requested that when I submitted for a logo for our design crowd submission. I actually requested them to keep in mind that we wanted some sort of a round abstract logo, and then they came up with all sorts of things, and this is the one we actually ended up picking. So next on the list is headshots. So take some time, and whether you're scheduling with a photographer or taking headshots on your cell phone, I think this can be done honestly with how nice iPhones and Droids are these days. I think you really could do this on your cell phone too. That's your free option. I put a recommendation of who we used for our headshots down. They're just in Sandy. They're off 90th South and State Street, around there. They're really close. And we paid about $35 per headshot. If you purchase more, the price goes down. And so what we did is we purchased some group photos where I'm actually in them and Ashley, our transaction coordinators, in them. We purchased some pictures with Jeff and Lynn, and then just each individual person. So having a headshot, that's also with your logo. When you're starting social media, it's so much easier than trying to take a selfie or trying to find a good picture. If you have something professional that you can rely on and just slap up on all of your social media, it makes things a lot easier. As well as, and I have some recommendations here. So if you are taking it on your cell phone, or even you're going in to get some professional photos taken, I recommend take the pictures with a neutral background. I gave some examples of ours that aren't PNG files with the transparent background, but if you have a neutral background, then you can also utilize it for a lot of other marketing items, as well as a neutral colored shirt. So Lynn is wearing white, Jeff is wearing black. I found that it's really, really easy to put their pictures on any sort of marketing because it matches everything, and I'm not trying to match their shirt color to the postcard or something like that. And so you can always, if you wear a shirt color and I think Shantae did this. She wore a blue shirt in her headshot, but it actually looks really good because it matches the EXP colors. So if you're going to wear a color, I would suggest obviously match your logo or the colors that you are wanting to use. And then different poses. I suggest this just so you're not using like one image on every single item. I mean, one headshot is really good, but if you have the means and the capability of doing it, I would say do a couple of different poses so you can use different photos on different items. And then lastly, that PNG file really comes in handy, especially when you're creating stuff on your own and you can just overlay it on whatever you want. And then here you can see our logo much better. So, and then once you have your headshots and you have your logo determined, I think at that point, obviously, that it's really easy to make your signs and your business cards. But I know some people that have tried to make their business cards before they have a logo or even a headshot. And then as soon as they get a headshot or a logo, they want to reorder them. And it's kind of wasted money, wasted time if you're designing them yourself. So that's why I kind of put these things in order, and that's exactly what we actually did. So there you can see our full logo for the Marchant Real Estate Group and the M with it and how we kind of use it. We never really use our Marchant Real Estate Group logo on our marketing. We usually only use the M. And then I put a recommendation at the bottom. We used Signorama in Sandy. They are amazing. They made our yard signs, our open house signs, our business cards, our decals. They actually made our sign in our office as well. They've made pretty much anything we've needed, and they're really fast. And my favorite part, because I am the pickiest person in the world, it seems like sometimes, they're 100% customizable and they work with you. So I actually went in there and met with them for like a half hour and designed these yard signs. If you don't do that, and maybe it's just my personality, they have an online portal where you can submit changes, but I'm kind of impatient because me and Jeff are really similar. Actually, we're the type of people who are like, move it 2 clicks to the right or 2 clicks up and it will look so much better. So it was really hard for me to communicate that back and forth over a portal. It was so much easier to just sit in person and work with their software. So they're really, really awesome. Highly recommend them.
Sydney, do they do like t-shirts and hats and things like that too, or just the signs and?
I believe so. They pretty much do anything you want to create. Like, yeah, they could probably do that. I would reach out to them and I could even text you, remind me after this call and I'll text you their contact. But yeah, they pretty much do everything. So I wouldn't doubt it. Okay, and so
I think they do pretty much signs on anything that you can put a sign on. I know that they're the creation of the logos, and they print on about anything. So they've done a variety of things for us. So Sid, do you know for sure that they do apparel?
I don't. We haven't tried to go down that route with them, but it'd be worth reaching out. Okay, and so once you've gotten all 3 of those items, and in my mind, then it's kind of a really good point to start with all of your social media. And so now I'm going to go kind of over just the basics of getting started. And I kind of focus on Instagram here just because that's what I am on the most and that's what I'm finding newer agents tend to be on the most. Facebook is kind of like we've noticed our older clients are on Facebook a lot more, but we do both. And a lot of what I'm going to say applies to Facebook as well. So, but a lot of my imagery is Instagram. So when you're creating a new profile, consistency is like super, super important because you got to think from a potential lead standpoint. If they are searching like a realtor in Utah or realtor in Draper, or if they actually know the Marchant Real Estate Group and they're looking for the Marchant Real Estate Group, you want them to be able to find you. So and I've seen this a few times, so if you are making a business profile on Facebook as well as Instagram, make sure those usernames match. So at the bottom there, you can see our username for Instagram is @Marchant Real Estate Group, and then Facebook is /Marchant Real Estate Group. That's what our page's name is. Some people I've seen where they put like E-Rock on one, and then the next one will say, it will be like a funny username. It wouldn't necessarily even say like Eric Jones on it or something. And so just make sure if you're having or making business profiles, to make sure those are consistent. It also makes you look a little bit more professional, in my opinion. And so availability, like your information and how readily available it is, I feel like is really, really important too. That's also something that I've seen the agents don't do. I've gone on their profiles and I can't even find a phone number or an email or even the website to reach out to them. So it kind of gets frustrating for those potential leads that might be, let's say they're stalking your page for the first time and they're like, oh, I see that they're doing a training, I want to reach out to them, and they can't find any contact information. You'll lose those people. Especially nowadays, I feel like people's attention span is getting shorter and shorter. So if you are making a business page on Instagram, that's what the screenshot is here, is our business page. If you enter in contact information, it will automatically make that contact button for you. So that's not something special that I did. That's just what a business page does. And so if you already have an Instagram, you can change and convert it into a business page. So you would just go in your settings, and I don't have that on here, but there is a way to change that. And you basically just say, I think there's 3 different options. Is this a personal page, a business page, or something like a social page or something or other, like an influencer page, I think is what it is. So you'll want to do a business page, and then that will add these little buttons here. So and then also a really big tip, and I think Chantel, who was on our 12 o'clock training, she mentioned this as well. Make sure your business page on Instagram and Facebook are public, because a lot of, like, if people are sharing what you're doing, or if your ads are popping up on the popular page, or you are running Facebook ads, things like that, you're going to get clicks, and you don't want your profile to be on private and they have to add you, you'll lose people. So if you're public, people are more likely to check out your page, click around, and then hopefully follow you. So you don't want to lose potential leads from kind of hiding from them. Okay, and so with our content creation, this is where I started. Everything I did was pretty much free for the most part, and we're just now purchasing some software that's making my life a lot easier, but this is definitely something that you can do, and it's free. So Canva, I know probably a lot of you have heard of Canva, but there is a free version, there's a pro version as well, but in my mind, the free version, if you're just getting started and you're not wanting to spend a lot of money, it has a lot of stuff, and that's actually what I wanted to go over at the end of the class if we have some time. So you can go in there and there's templates. It's super user friendly, and you can literally click on a logo template, for instance. You can search all their templates. You can search like presentation, you can search yard sign, you can search all sorts of things, and you can get in there and click a template and you just change your name, you can change the colors, and then you can download it into an image, and they're pretty high quality. You can, PNG is always the highest quality, and they allow you to download in PNG format, and it's usually pretty good. So and then another program that I started out with and I still use, and it's free, is Lightroom, and that's by Adobe. I don't really get into Adobe editing at all, but Lightroom is just an app I have on my phone. I know you can get it on your desktop, but honestly, when I'm doing our marketing, I'm usually like feeding my baby, or I'm going to the bathroom or something, like to where I am able to be on my phone and I'm not on my computer. and it's really, really easy. So Lightroom, it's free, and it's also user friendly, but you don't have to, but I purchased some presets, and it made my life a lot easier. I think the ones I purchased were like $35, and it gave me, and I think let's see if my video will work here. And I'll go back to that slide so you can see it. But I did a video example of me showing you a picture.
Sid, what is a preset?
Okay, so here's a picture that we took at our office, and this is the before without any editing. And I'll show you this video, but it's basically like an overlay that you can put over photos, and it's something you can purchase from someone. And let me go back, I'll show you what I was showing you here. So I follow this person on Instagram, and this is who I purchased the presets from. And see how light and airy these photos are. And that's what is appealing to me, is like bright and happy. And so I purchased these presets, and basically what it is if you purchase it, you can download it to Lightroom, and I will show you my example. So you go to Lightroom, and it will give you, there's like a setup process I'm not going to go into. You have to download them into Lightroom for them to be in there. But here's an example of me editing a photo. And so on here, I go to the presets, and I'm just going to click through and show you what they look like on these photos. And so they don't always look perfect on photos, but then I click over, and I think I'll show you an example. I click over to the light setting, and then I play around with it. So I mess around with the highlights and the whites and the blacks and the shadows. And sometimes it takes me literally like less than a minute to get a photo looking kind of like it was edited professionally, rather than it was just taken on a cell phone. And so I kind of showed you a before and after here, because with our Instagram, I like it to look as professional as possible. And just the little difference of editing photos like this, it makes a big difference when you're looking at a page, like overall. And I don't know, that's just something, I like. And so with presets, I mean, you can edit those in your cell phone. There's editing capabilities like on iPhones and things, but presets just make it a little bit easier, and they're kind of cheap. So just an option. Okay, and so now I'm going to go into, and this is again catered towards Instagram, but also you can do this for Facebook, is when you're posting marketing and you don't really have a lot of time, sometimes you get really, really stuck. And I ran into this a lot, where I'd get pretty frustrated because I felt like I couldn't think of good content. And so what really helped me is I started following people who were like, so first on Facebook and Instagram, I looked for marketing tips, tip pages. So this girl is really, really awesome. And honestly, for a long time, I only followed her, and she gave me so many little tips and tricks that really transformed kind of like how easily I could do things. And so she posts videos, she posts little tutorials, she posts all sorts of little tips on how to make things easier. And she also talks about trends on Instagram, which is like really big. So you can kind of roll with the trends and learn the latest and greatest. And so I put her on here because I recommend following her if you're just beginning. I learned a lot from her. And then I also recommend following people that kind of, you want your page, you want to grab inspiration from them because you're attracted to their page for a reason. So I follow a bunch of different realtors, and a lot of them are EXP, so it's kind of fun. This is a girl that's an EXP, and she has like a really big group under her as well. And so I really liked her content when I was starting, and so I just started to follow her. And then I started to save, and this is where I think it helped me get really organized is, I don't know how familiar you guys are with Instagram, but you can save other people's posts. You can save any post that you see. So that little button there with that the arrows pointed to, when you click that, it actually lets you make different folders. So and you can do this on Facebook as well. It's kind of newer on Facebook, but you can save videos too, which I feel like a lot of people don't know that. But some folders that I have are post ideas, Instagram tools, content ideas, picture ideas. So then when I feel stuck and I really feel like I need to do a post, it's been a while, then I just go to my folders in Instagram or Facebook, and I had a video on here showing you how to do it and I took it off. But you basically go to your profile and there's those 3 dots and you go to your saved. It just says saved is all. And then it goes to all these different boards that you create, different folders. And it helped me get really organized, and it helped me draw upon other people's posts and made it a lot easier.
Sydney, do you said that we can save videos in Facebook?
Yes. So on Facebook, if you're watching a video and you really like it, and I do this in Workplace all the time for like KV Core videos, help videos, you just click those 3 buttons at the top. I'll show you. So on Facebook, let me actually go to Workplace. Let me see if I can find a video. Just log in as Lynn. And so, and like I said, this is newer, so I feel like a lot of people don't know that this is something that you can do.
No, I didn't know. I mainly use Facebook. I have an Instagram, but I use Instagram not very often.
Yes, yes. So it's going to be the same for a video, but you click up here on these 3 dots and you click Save Post.
Okay.
And so Linda hasn't figured out how to save on here just yet, or else she might have some folders like I do. But you click Create, and she could literally say like content idea or something, whatever you want to have. It's kind of like Pinterest. Think of it like Pinterest. You have different boards of different ideas that you get to save. And then you click Done. And then, and Workplace might be a little bit different than Facebook, but you go to your profile, I believe, and you can click on, this is different than Facebook is, but you basically go to your profile and you can see you're saved somewhere. I'm gonna have to look this up and show you where it is. I haven't poked around Workplace. Well, I do it on my phone. This is different. So let me go back to the PowerPoint.
Is it under more right there, Sydney, the drop down that says more?
Let me see. Let's see.
It might be there.
Nope. I know where it is on my phone, and this just looks different.
It's wherever the 3 lines are. It's like those 3 like slash lines, but I don't see it on here either.
I know, that's what I'm looking for. Usually it's like in the top right corner or something of your profile. You would think it would be under more, but then it will give you a pop-up. Shoot. Yeah. On your phone, it's really easy to find, but you would click on your profile on your phone, and then there's those 3 lines, and then it goes to your saved folders, and you can take a look from there.
It might be in the CL in the corner. I don't know.
Well, I'll look into it and I'll let you guys know. But yeah, that saves me a lot of time and a lot of, I used to sit around a lot and try and think really hard, but I mean, what you can duplicate is always really good. So, okay. And so lastly, I wanted to go into what we've been using lately. So we kind of used Canva for all of our posts from the beginning. I would create everything kind of from scratch or from templates. But as of lately, we just recently discovered this company called Coffee and Contracts. And what it is it basically makes your marketing life a lot easier. They provide pretty much anything you can think of that you want to do marketing wise. They provide all the content, that you would want. So some examples that I have is, and this is actually realtor specific. So it's not just posts in general, post ideas, it's like for realtors. And I will go to the website after this and show you. But so they give a content calendar, they give editable graphics. And I'll actually just go there now. Let me just show you. Okay, so I'm signed in. So I have a dashboard here because we're signed up, and it is a monthly subscription. So we pay around $35 a month. And they are updating this content monthly, and it always has to do with what's going on around the world as well. So I wanted to show you the image library for April, because that's when coronavirus was getting really intense, and all their content was around coronavirus. And it was really relatable and really timely. Let me see. Might have had it open too long. Can you guys see my screen for the, I don't know why it's not letting me go.
I can see your screen and you're trying to select the image library, but it's not.
Okay, well, I can show you through Canva, but I wanted to show you through the website. So
You might have to just refresh it, so if it was open too long.
yeah, I tried that. It didn't work for some reason, but that's okay. So they give us posts that we can actually download a copy of those images into Canva. And what's so awesome about it is I can customize these. So let me find one. So for instance, it said choose your quarantine house, and it gives some options. And so this is an engagement post that they give you. And so if I wanted to, though, I could come in here and I could change this like to townhome if I wanted to. Oops. And then I would obviously reformat and make it match and everything. But it's just so awesome because at a touch of my finger, I could have a brand new post that already looks beautiful. It already is relevant. And I want to show you. I guess I have them downloaded in here. So sorry, thrown off that I can't go to the website, but they provide you with content calendars too, which is so, so awesome, because this is with an example of posting every single day. It has like a little key here, but they give you a lot of different types of posts that you can use. So they give you an engagement post, they give you a personal post, they give you a local option, and you don't even have to go in the order that they give you. If I wanted to, I could come here, and this is actually what I did when I first joined, because we joined like in the middle of a month, and so I wasn't on like the first of every month, but I could come in here and see what appealed to me and say, oh, I really like this seller tip, how to handle inspections. And what I would do is I would go back to the website, and sorry, it's not working, but I could actually go there, and it would tell me what day this post is for. And then underneath, they actually, and this is the biggest time saver for me personally, they provide you with a caption. And it's all customizable. It's a copy and paste caption to where basically it would go through on how to handle an inspection. And it would talk, and this is a realtor page, so it would talk like you're the realtor. And this Coffee and Contracts software, it actually really matches our style as it is. And so a lot of times when I do our posts, it sounds like I wrote it already. And so that's why I love these guys so much. But there are so many different companies that do similar things. I just wanted to share with you guys what we're starting to utilize. And I am not going to post every day and use their posts every day, but it's worth it to me to be able to go into this inventory and just snag one post once a week at this point, because it's saving me so much time. And so I really wanted to share it with you because I really, really liked it. And they also provide a lot of other things, and I can't click into them for some reason, but I can at least show you. So they have social media, they have a content calendar, they have an image library, they have promotional updates, they have Instagram stories. So they give you like in the story format. They give you some posts as well. And then they give you blog posts. and then they give you some video scripts. So that alone is just under social media of the things they provide. Under branding, I use this for my personal page, my Sydney page that I just created, but I used their Facebook cover photo, and I could actually show you that looks like, since it's not letting me.
So Sydney, you said these are all fully customizable. So somebody could
Yeah.
really like the imagery, but want a different font or something that's maybe
Yes.
more masculine. And because you're not married to the way it's presented on there, you can change any of that or none of it, right?
Yes. And I'm so picky. I change pretty much everything they do, but that's the whole point of the coffee and contracts, is that like I could come to this and let's say I'm a male and I'm not a female, and this is very feminine to me. I could click the seller and this is actually a font. This is a bad example. They purchased this font and had to add it as an image because Canva won't provide it. Let's see. But like this one, for instance, this is too feminine to me. So I could come on here and I can select a more masculine font that matches what I want to do a little bit more. And I can center that, and I can even make it all caps over here like they kind of did on other ones, and then boom, this one's ready in my eyes. But I can also, if I don't like this circle, let's say, or if I don't like that it's white, I can change the color to match my logo color. Like I think, Angie, you have purple, right? So she could
Yeah.
put, that's a bad purple, but the purple that you have, what I really like about Canva, and this is the end of my presentation. So if you guys would like, I could just go into kind of how Canva works and kind of the basics, since we're already in here. But what I have done is I've actually saved this palette as colors I use. So these like kind of taupe and purpley colors are ones I use on my Sydney page. And then these are kind of our EXP colors I use. And so let's say I want it to match our EXP logo. So I can change that to orange. And if that's way too bright, I can actually adjust that to be a little bit lighter. I can make it transparent. That's what I'm doing here. And Coffee and Contracts gives you options. So look at all these different ways that you can use just this one image. They provide all of these. And let me go back to what I was showing you, that cover page. So this is another thing they provide. I made this cover page, and I wish I could show you a little bit better, but this was a template, and I literally just put in my website, my EXP website, and then I took a screenshot of what my EXP website looks like, and I put the image on this phone. And so let me show you that. I'm not sure which one that one's under. Okay, I think it's this one. So this is another template that I imported into Canva, and it's as easy, it's literally a click of a button. If you have a Canva account, it says open in Canva, something similar to that, and it pulls. This one was called April Facebook cover. So each month they actually give you more Facebook covers as well. So these are the example ones, because obviously these aren't our names, but I used one of these and I played around with it until I got the cover photo that I liked. And so, yeah.
Sydney, how often do you post to your pages?
So let me pull up. So I kind of, this is a little different because Jeff and Lynn don't really even use Instagram. And so it's hard for me. How many of you guys use Instagram over Facebook or even on Instagram?
I use both accounts.
I have both, but I use more Facebook.
Okay. Okay. So the way I kind of look at it is I look at it from the Instagram standpoint, because that's where I usually post first, because I look at this grid here, because something I noticed kind of when I started following pages and kind of doing a little bit of research, and then I also think it was a tip provided by that account I recommended to follow with tips and tricks, but they pointed out, and I started to notice that if I were to post our trainings, like if I posted this training and I didn't have 3 posts in between this, someone would come to our Instagram page and it would only look like we're doing virtual trainings. Same goes for these welcome pages. If I didn't post any of these images in between, people would come, and if they're not attracted to that, then they would leave. So what I started to do is try to balance out, and I'm not very good at the posting calendar just yet because I'm still working on the property management side. That's kind of my main focus. This is kind of like a little side gig I do. And so I don't have like a schedule. What I base it on personally is I come to Instagram, and if I know I have to post a training post, I try to at least post 3 images before I have to post that next, if not more. So 3 minimal. Because if I do 2, what happens on Instagram, if you guys are familiar with it, then my trainings would be stacked right here. And then it just kind of ruins the flow of your Instagram if you have too many stacked like this. I like to see, what I like to see personally, and the tips that I got is when someone comes to your page, they need to see a balance. They need to see personal pictures, because that's usually where people's eye goes to first, is they want to see your face, right? So if they come to your business page and all they see are virtual training, they're like, well, that doesn't matter to me. They leave. So you want someone to come to your page and you want to kind of speak to all your audiences. So like these sold and under contract posts, I'm speaking to maybe potential clients, showing them the business we're doing. These personal pictures here, I'm speaking to the people who want to see their faces, and these usually actually get the most likes as well too, and comments.
Lifestyle photos too would be a good thing to do of yourself, or like your client, with you and a client or something.
Yes. And I actually had that on the PowerPoint. So if you guys go back and look, there's probably some tips I skipped over just because I thought I'd be short on time. But so what she means by lifestyle is like, and we're actually scheduling one of these in a few weeks when Ashley, my older sister, is coming into town. We're going to be doing a lifestyle shoot, because that is actually what holds me up the most on marketing. Is I get caught in this funk of I'm just posting a lot of business, we do a lot of training, so I'm posting that, I'm resharing it on Facebook. And so I really want people to see Jeff and Lynn's face, right? And I'm not really in the office anymore because I'm working from home with my baby, and also this virus thing screwed things up. And so I kept telling Lynn and Jeff, I need some personal pictures so I can post them. And so if you get a lifestyle shoot, it's going to be kind of similar to this probably, but where it's called a lifestyle shoot because you're acting like you're living your life, right? But you want to do a business one. So you can be working at your computer. You can be like this one here, standing at a table. Let's see what else, like working at a desk. Like, what was that?
Showing a house.
Yes, open house, showing a house. And actually a recommendation that Chantel Reitz, she told us is go to, and hopefully when open houses start getting more popular, go to an open house and have someone come with you, like your husband, anyone really, and have them take photos of you in a really nice kitchen, or
That's great.
yeah, and it's brilliant, like a really nice study. Like get a lot of pictures, so then you can have a library. And this is where the lifestyle shoot is going to be awesome for us, is we're going to bring multiple colored shirts, and I'm going to stay neutral, so just blacks and whites. And then we're going to have them take some pictures at our office. And so with bringing multiple shirts, that means, and neutral colors, that means that I can post these lifestyle photos and people aren't going to notice I'm posting the same pictures because Lynn's wearing a pink polka dotted shirt in every single picture, if that makes sense.
Right. You know what I thought would be cute too, if you have well, I was thinking about this for my grandbaby, but I thought having her, because she's like 3, I'm like, I could get a cute little sold sign and take really cute little pictures of her holding that and put that on there.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. That's really cute. Yeah, so you can get really creative with the lifestyle shoots. And you can even, so we're actually going to be using that photographer that did our headshots last time. And he basically said he only charges a fee for him having to travel to a location, and he can stay there as long as we want him to, as long as we're happy with all of the shoot or all of the poses we get. And then he just charges per picture that we purchase. And the more we purchase, the more the price goes down. And so that's what we're going to be doing. And we're going to be taking them in all the different areas of our office, so I can have personal pictures to then draw upon and just post a personal picture without having, this is what used to happen like back in these days, is I would say, hey, Jeff, Lynn, will you guys take a selfie, or will you guys do something so people can see your faces in the office, you know? And but you want people to see your face, you want them to see that you're doing business. But in my opinion, I like following people more where I feel like I get to know them because I'm seeing them, rather than I feel like they're just slapping something up that's really impersonal, and it has nothing to do with them ever, if that makes sense.
Sydney, I have a question from the chat for you.
Oh, okay.
Do you tend to do a full month of social posts or 1 week at a time? And then the other part of that is, do you run these through EXP Marketing Center and broker for approval, or both? So I'll answer the second part. These particular posts don't really need any approval because these are purchased images. We're not using somebody's copyrighted image. What EXP doesn't want you using, and I actually saw a workplace discussion about this, because people are creating memes, right? They'll take a picture that's not theirs, and it might be a celebrity, it might be somebody that charges for their endorsement, right? Or it might be a branded logo, like even using like a McDonald's sign or imagery without permission in certain contexts can be considered of copyright infringement. So definitely putting an EXP logo and creating a meme that has a picture of a celebrity on it that's not yours is a no-no. A picture that's non-copyrighted, or in this case, Sydney purchases a subscription for these images, that wouldn't apply. And so she's adding she's not connecting EXP with any possibility of being sued for that.
Yes. And that's actually something really important to note, because that was something I was also running into. So if you are on Canva and you do not have the pro version, you can still search, like let's say I want to search real estate. I'm making a post from scratch, okay, let's say. And let's say I really like this image here. So we've recently upgraded to the pro version. So see how it says pro right here? Canva does provide some free images. So like this one here, it says free on it. So I could potentially use this one. And Canva, that's why I was using Canva as well, is they have a lot of high quality stock images that you can use, because you never ever want to get caught Googling pictures and using something that looks really nice because of what Jeff was just talking about, copyright issues. You can get fined, actually, it's actually pretty expensive when you get fined for that. And I had peace of mind just knowing that I was using like Canva's pictures. And then when we just upgraded to the pro version, which I believe is like $8 or $9 a month, so it's pretty minimal. I have access to look at all these pro pictures. If you can see, I know it's really small, but they have like a little crown on them. All these stock images I have access to, and they look so much better than the free version ones. I'll tell you that. It was hard to work with the free ones, but they were still there. And so I could use this image right here, and then I could make a post from scratch, and I can just put on like this.
So Sydney, the
Pre-made.
other part of her question was, do you batch your posts? Do you make a whole bunch of posts all at once and then have them go out like a week? Do you make them a week at a time, a month at a time? Or are you doing this on the day and hitting send and post on the day you want to do it?
So I've done this a couple of different ways, and I have a hard time, and it's hard because I'm kind of in a different position, right? Where I have like a full-time job still, but I'm also doing this. And so as of right now, what's worked for me is like I have certain days that I have to get certain posts up because of our trainings or because a closing just happened. So there are some timely things I do when I know they're coming up. I'll prepare them. And I'm sorry if I'm skipping around too much, but I can show you. Let me find where that is. Oh, here it is. Okay, so if we have a new listing coming up, I'm the one that also does the marketing for all of our real estate transactions and listings. And so if I knew I had a listing coming up, I would prepare this a few days in advance. And we usually get photos a few days in advance or the day before our listing is going live, just the way we do it. And so I will prepare all my marketing before for things like that are timely, kind of like as is. But what I've actually started doing for posts, like I can show you which ones I kind of do it for. So like this one here or this one, kind of all the personal ones. Every time I have a good picture that I think I could use for our marketing, I actually make a draft on Instagram. And why I keep going to Instagram, and I wish I could show you this a little bit better, but Instagram, is different on your computer than it is on your phone. But why I always start with Instagram is because you have the option to then share to Facebook. And then you also have an option to create drafts, which you do have that on Facebook, but Instagram, I like it a little bit better, just a preference, I think. But whenever I have like good photos that I want to use, I'll make a draft. And then as soon as like something comes up that I could use it for, I'll make a post. But I'm starting to use those coffee and contracts things. And every time I get on here and I'm like, okay, I need some posts in between like a training, or I need some posts in between like a welcome post, I'll go to Coffee and Contracts. And I'm not doing their daily calendar right now because that's a little bit too much for me. You guys might really like that and utilize it. But I found that a lot of people, and this is the biggest perk personally to me for getting and purchasing Coffee and Contracts, is you get added to a group that's private, and it's Coffee and Contracts Realtors. And it actually reminds me a lot of Workplace with EXP agents. There's agents from all over the country that use Coffee and Contracts that are showing you what they're doing with Coffee and Contracts. And I've learned so much just from that, being part of that group, because you have to be paying for it to be invited to it. So it's kind of exclusive, but there's a lot of agents on there that get on there and they share everything and anything that they're doing marketing wise. And they even share like ways that they've redone things that Coffee and Contracts provides. So another thing that they provide that I went through and edited recently is buyer and seller packets. And so this one would be a buyer's packet. And so I went through and all I did was they had a blank image here, they had text here, and I added my logo. And I actually think I changed out this picture, but I used a Coffee and Contracts picture that they give you. And I just found one I liked better. And then they give you like access to so much information that's already pre-made and it's already beautiful, and it like you don't really have to mess around with it, but changing colors and fonts if you want and adding your personal information. And so yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I was going off on that one. What did that start with? What questions do you guys have?
Sydney, do you pull everything from Coffee and Contracts and then edit it in Canva?
So you can either save it straight to your computer, or you can click a button that says open and customize. So if I'll go to post one. Sorry, my computer looks a little funny since I have it shared, but okay, so let's say I downloaded, this one's called May's Posts. So I get on here and I just look at what appeals to me, because this one here, let's say this was scheduled for the 2nd of May. This was their post they had. So we joined like, let's say the 15th of May. what I could do and what I do is I come in here and I just scroll through until I see something I like. And then I look at the caption and see if that's something I like too. And I kind of just make it our own. Because if you start to follow some Coffee and Contracts people that use it, they're all over. You can see, like, you follow them, so you see their feed. They post the same exact things on the same day, which is what's on the calendar. But I like to kind of mix it up because not everything's relevant to me, because sometimes it's just stuff that isn't really our personality. So I pick and choose what is matches our personality. And I really like the way they word things as is, because they give you options too, of like, they'll do like parentheses, like insert something you recently did in your backyard, like an update you recently did in your backyard. And the post is time to get your yard ready for summer or something like that. And so, yeah, Eric, I'll just come on here, and especially because our stock photos are so related, like they're real estate related, and those are the hardest photos that I could not find good photos that I liked on like the free images for Canva. And so just the access to these photos, it was enough to make me like be way faster at creating content and posts. And so, I mean, you don't have to go buy the day-to-day calendar. You can come on here and you can just utilize anything that they provide you. And there's so much more I wish I could show you, but they give you so much. And there's little things like even fonts, like you have to buy fonts and upload them into Canva regularly. But if you are downloading these, they have fonts that aren't regular Canva fonts. And so they're nicer and they're a little bit more modern. Some of them are a little bit more feminine.
So Sid, back to Eric's question. You said you can save them to your computer or you can open them in Canva, Canva. Which is easier to edit them?
The only way to edit them is in Canva.
Okay.
So Canva, yeah, so, and they create these folders in Canva. And so and they basically tell you when you're doing Coffee and Contracts, they highly recommend, well, first of all, they say in order to use our content, you have to have Canva, but they highly recommend you have the pro version. And I know we're a little bit over time, but anyone is welcome to stay on for a little bit. I wanted to show you an example of how to make your own logo with the pro version, because the pro version has, I want to go over everything, but it has some tips that I really, really needed, or I had some capabilities that I really needed with my marketing that has made it really, really easy for me. And so I am going to go and then show you that really quick. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, actually just a comment. So
Okay.
I use Canva right now. I use the free version.
Mhm.
And like you said, a lot of photos are not that good on it. So I've been using Pexels, PEXELS.com. And you can get high graphic photos from there. And that's what I've been using for my Instagram page. And I've been transferring over to Canva to do so.
Awesome. Well, and there are a lot of websites like that. Like I think I have one that's called Burst, and you can search like blue image, and these are all free, high resolution. Like if I want a blue image, I don't know, sometimes I want a color, but
yeah, it seems
Benson,
like,
put the name of that one you just suggested in the chat box. I didn't write it down, and then everybody can grab it if they need it.
okay, so I wanted to kind of show you Canva a little bit more, a little bit away from Coffee and Contracts. But so if I am going into Canva and I log in, these are all my designs. These are actually all folders I've created personally and things I've made in here. But when you're new, you're gonna want to check out the templates, and I still use these too. So you can click here for the templates, and it gives you a search option up here. And like it says here, they have 50,000 plus templates, which they really have everything. So if I wanted to create a logo, so the first thing that pops up is just general logos, but it gets specific in here. And so let's just click on regular logos and see what pops up. So there's all these different options that come up, different colors, different fonts. Some of them have different graphics with them. But let's say I get lucky and I really, really like this one because it has mountains, Utah. So this is a color scheme that it comes with. These are the fonts that it comes with. And keep in mind, this might be a pro logo, but there are a lot of free templates. But since I have pro, I have access to all the templates. And so let's say I really like this one, but I don't like the glowing little graphic here. So I can click delete. I don't like the 2020, so I can click delete. And I really like these mountains. And now that I did that, I'm going to recenter these. But I want this to say right here, Marchant Real Estate Group. And I can stretch this here. And I can go up here and I can play around with the font size, but something I like is you can just grab this corner and it resizes it for you. And then instead of me playing around and trying to center this, a new update with Canva actually, not just with the Pro, I don't think, is the position. So you can click a button and it will center it for you. And then I can click middle and it will put it in the middle for me. But let's say I want the mountains to be up there. So I can move this back down, but at least it's centered. So it has guidelines as well, but I found that this button is just so much faster than playing around with those. And then also fonts could be pro too. Like this looks like a pro font to me because they get like fancy with the pro ones. But let's say I just want to do a different font and say professional. No, let's say real estate rep. And this is huge, so I'm just gonna make this smaller and then I'm gonna drag it. And so what's so awesome about this though is I can click here and I can change the colors. Let's say I want it to kind of match the EXP logo. So I'm gonna go here. And then I want to add my, oh, I guess this is a personal logo. So let's say we want to add EXP's logo. So I can go to uploads over here and I can upload straight from my computer, but I already have them stored in here. So I'm actually going to just go to my folders and then I have a logos folder. Where are my EXP logos? I'll just do this one for, oops, sorry, for being fast. Let's just do this one. Let's do the black one actually. And then I'm just going to cut this here. And that's another thing I really like is you can cut images like to crop them. You just use these little lines here. And then I want just the EXP logo. And so I'm going to put it under here. And it matches this black font here. And so I'm going to keep that. Let's say I want to make this a little bit thicker. So I'm going to bold this. And let's say this is my logo and I love it and I am ready to download it to my computer and start using it. So this is the pro version, but this is what I have utilized more than anything else is when you download something, it automatically does a PNG file. But what it also allows you to do with the pro version is you can click this button and make it a transparent background. So see, it has a little crown there. That means it's only pro. And so when I click download, and I save this, then when I re-upload it, and I think I was messing around with this earlier for another example video. Let me delete all this. Actually, I'll just make a new one. So then if I am playing around in Canva and I have, let's say I want to do a post and I find an image. This is a coffee and contracts image. And so I put my image that I want here. It looks really good. And so I want to add some text to it. So you go to this little text icon here. They have pre-made ones that have like different fonts, different styles kind of put together for you, but you can always make your own up here. And so let's say I really like this one. This one looks good to me. And so I just add it. This is what I want to say. And so I think that it's a little hard to read, so I can click on this image here and I can actually adjust the transparency, make it a little bit so the text is the focus. And then I'm like, okay, I have my awesome logo. Now I want to add my logo. So after you downloaded it to your computer, saved it wherever you wanted, you would re-download it. And I think I did this before. And so here's my little logo. See how it's transparent and I can still see the images in the background? It's not like this. This would be if it was not transparent and just an image like a JPEG. And so what I could then do is on all the posts, I could put it in the corner here, resize it, whatever I want to do, and I can put it in the corner. And a little trick I've found out too with Canva, see how that box is outlined? When you post to Instagram, that box is what you see right here. So if you put items within that box, because it like shrinks it. So this image is actually a lot bigger, but when it is on your page, it kind of condenses it a little bit and like zooms in. And so, sorry, I put this right where the Zoom meeting.
So Sid, while you're doing that, I mean, you're going through a lot of stuff here and showing them how to do these things. I think one thing to just note is we just now purchased these pro versions and Copy and Contract. She's been doing it with the free version of Canva for months and months. We didn't really have an Instagram page until Sydney started it. I don't even know how long it's been, Sydney. It hasn't been that long. And organically, she's starting to get followers and it's working really well for us. But, and Nate put in the chat box that the Canva Pro is now $9.95, I think it was, or almost $10. And so with Coffee and Contracts, that's another 35. So that's like $45 a month, right? So that seems like, oh God, I don't need another bill. The reason we decided to do it is because Sydney had a track record of how much time things were taking her. So if I can spend $1.50 a day to give her the tools so that that hour or that 2-hour time block is 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 10 minutes, it's super worth it to me for that $1.50 a day to then get her onto another project and keep up with the consistency of making the posts. Because I think that's one thing that Sydney kind of hit on at the first is being consistent and creating your branding and your imagery, but then continuing to do it. You can't just do it once a quarter. You know what I mean? It's got to be something that if you want to create a presence, and the main reason I like it is not because I want a following or everything. I want something for people to find. We have a good referral business, but I guarantee you most people that are referred from one of my friends, they still go and search us and check us out, and they look for us on Instagram and they look for us on Facebook. And what are they going to see? For me, it's for those people. It's not necessarily for me to make a new cold lead into a friend and into an SOI and a client, although that can happen, right? And so anyway, that's just my little plug on, we didn't do it right out of the gate, but it made sense after a little while because we did want to be consistent and looking at the hours that Sydney was spending in creation to eliminate that down to literally almost nothing compared, right, Sid, for $1.50 a day.
Yeah, now I can go on Coffee and Contracts and I literally just find something I like, copy and paste, and boom, I just post it. Where I take more time still is just those personal posts, but I'm really trying, like Jeff said, that was huge for me that I noticed when I started doing marketing is every time I heard of, let's say, a new hairstylist or someone that I was looking into personally, first thing I do is I go and look them up. You know, you want to see their work. You want to see how active they are, if they look busy, if they look legit. Like if you don't know them from Adam, you want to make sure that they're like a real person, right? And so that's kind of where my mindset was, is exactly what Jeff just said. We just wanted something that people could go to and see that we're up and running, we're busy, and you know, and kind of get to know us a little bit. And so when I do those personal posts, I try to make them personal about Lynn and Jeff, and so when someone reads it, they get to know them a little bit better.
Okay, guys, we're a little bit over our normal time slot here. I appreciate you guys sticking around, but I don't have a hard stop time on this right now for Sydney or I. So if you have any more questions, since you're still with us, rip them out.
Yeah.
Hey, Sydney, I noticed you're making, I assume you're making a lot of these posts on your computer for Instagram and you're editing them on your computer. Do you do most of your Instagram posts on the computer, or do you do most of them on your phone?
So if I'm doing a Canva post from scratch or like something that I would like to edit a lot, I always do it on my computer, but you can do everything, pretty much everything you can do on your computer on your phone on Canva. So if I am out of my house and I need to do a post and I need to edit it, I'll do it on my phone. So you can do it on both, but with Coffee and Contracts, what has also saved me time is I've literally downloaded those to our Dropbox, and I can get on Dropbox on my phone, save it to my phone, and then post it on Instagram. The only thing that kind of sucks about Instagram so for creation, that's how it is. But for posting, I always post on my phone. And why that is because Instagram does not have the option, and I don't know why they haven't done this yet, but you can't post from the computer. So if you look here, I don't know if you have an Instagram page.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, so if I'm doing just a Facebook post, then if I'm on my computer, it's a lot easier for me to do Facebook on the computer. But if I'm doing Instagram, I have to do it on my phone. And let me show you with Canva really quick. When you download it and you save it, you can save it anywhere. So you can download whatever you want if you want transparent background, but you can then save it to Dropbox. Then I would go on my phone and save it. Or if you don't have a lot on here, because when you download this on your phone, it downloads every single picture. So if you just want to save this one, you can save it on your phone from Canva.
Okay. And on the Lightroom and those presets.
Yeah.
So those photos that you're showing with you guys on the stairs, that was an iPhone photo. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know our lighting here in the office, Eric, we just have the can lights. That's why it's so dark. iPhones are great cameras, but we just don't have, great lighting. And that's what she fixed because it's very spotty.
It just looks so good. It doesn't look like an iPhone photo.
Right. Yeah. And so that's why I highly suggested, like, you can do your headshots and you can do your personal photos, like, without getting a lifestyle shoot and without getting professional headshots. I still think if you guys want to get up and running fast, you can do them on your cell phone. It's definitely doable, but that's why I gave some tips on like what to do, because if I were just taking headshots, let me go back to that page.
That's why professional headshots look so good, right, Sydney? Is they're doing what you did. They're taking the shot, but then they're going through and they're doing some editing before they give you the final product. Touching them up, making them look as good as possible, enhancing the resolution, whatever. And so that's what you did with that app, right?
Right. And so with the headshots too, like if you're going to take them on your phone, just make sure you have a neutral background, which is what a professional would do. Make sure, my tip is just a non-colored shirt or the shirt or a colored shirt that correlates with your logo. So then you can use it for as many things as possible, because let's say if we look at this and Lynn was wearing like an off-green shirt or something, it would totally clash with all of the things we did on the business card, right? Like I couldn't really do yellow font and things like that. I'd have to tie in her shirt somehow. So just a little tip there.
So wear the black shirt that Jeff is wearing on the business cards and he's wearing tonight.
He wears every day.
I do that to help her out with her posts.
Just so happens.
Yeah.
Hey, Sydney, I have a quick question. I know you guys probably want to go. And I don't even know if you can answer my question, actually. Have you noticed my biggest struggle with Instagram is when I go to actually post my verbiage that I'm going to put on there. And then you know how you have to do the ... and then you do your hashtags?
Yes.
Maybe it's just me and I'm doing it wrong, but I struggle with that. Like, it does not let me like space like I want to space and
It
all that.
doesn't. And I should have actually put this on here, but I use an app for my spacing, and I will write it down. And it's actually an app that's free, and they made it into an Apple app that you can purchase for like $5 now. But I actually got it from this lady here. Really, I recommend, and I'll send you guys this slideshow, but I recommend, this is her, but that's not the page. This girl here, she actually introduced me to this app, and it has helped me so much because I would get so frustrated because
Yeah.
another thing that she recommends is a post that you want to post that is multiple paragraphs is like, it was a really high percentage. I don't want to quote her, but let's say like 70% more likely to be read if you space it sentence by sentence rather than paragraph by paragraph, because people get on there with their short attention spans these days, and all they see are a lot of words, and they get frustrated, and they don't even look at what you shared. So when you, sorry, I unshared. Let me go back.
So Sydney, Shantae had also put in the comments that gal has a couple of books, and she's a marketing exec with Fidelity. So there's a couple of books that might.
She's awesome. So let me go to that that free. I'll show you what it is, and then I'll copy and paste it. Oops, in the chat box.
So it's is it appsforlifehost.com?
/Instagram. And so when you go there, maybe there's another /. Hold on. I have it bookmarked on my phone. So when I'm doing a post, I go to this this bookmark, and I copy Instagram, and I copy this, or copy my, okay. Hold on. Sorry, it's really long. Caption maker. So if you go into this is their new app that they have now, but let's say I want to post something and say, have a great day. I love real estate. So I want my post to look like this spacing wise. Like I want this blank thing. There's something in Instagram that's really frustrating that if I were to write this in Instagram, it would post like this. And so if with this app or this little website that's free, I would go in here and then I would do my hashtags, love life, whatever, real estate. And because I always want my hashtags to be below so people aren't paying attention to those. And all I do is click convert and copy in clipboard, because there are things you can't see. Like I think it's like you have to do a certain number of spaces in Instagram, I don't know, in order to make this look like this. So when you click copy and then you paste it into Instagram, it does whatever it needs to so it looks this way.
Okay.
And yeah, I was really frustrated with that, but that girl that I follow, she gives all sorts of little tips and tricks like this all the time. So that was something I got from her.
Yeah, I heard too, you have to have like 5 bullets before you put your hashtags or whatever in there.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they say that it does better if you have the 5 spaced bullets or whatever. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, they make it difficult to do the caption you want to, but yeah, I just have this bookmarked and then I copy and paste before I do any of our captions, and then they're always spaced.
So appsforlifehost.com /Insta.
Copy and paste that into the chat.
It won't let me do the chat because I'm sharing.
Instagram.
Let me see if I can. Oh, there it is. Okay.
I was doing something
copy.
because I've seen some professionals have it all nice and neat like that. I'm like, I thought I know how to type, you know?
Right? No, it's frustrating because I didn't know that was even a thing either. And until I started doing posts and getting like really upset. So I just posted it in there.
Oh, cool.
Thank you.
Making it a little easier. But yeah, bookmark that on your cell phone and it will save you a lot of time.
Sweet, thank you. I'm glad I'm like, oh, I gotta ask that.
Yay, good. Any other questions?
Thanks, Sydney. You're awesome.
This was awesome, Sid. Thank you.
Yeah, great job.
Awesome. Well,
If
and
I would have taught this class, it would have been
That's
about
great.
2 minutes long. I learned a ton. I don't know any of this. Thank you.
yeah,
So
no,
Sid, let's go ahead and upload your slide deck into
workplace.
into Workplace.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. And I'll actually add a slide where this is in there because I use this a lot. So I'll add this in before I upload it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, guys.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, kiddo.
Bye.
Thanks.
See you guys soon.
Thank you. You too.
Have a good-
See ya.